Have you ever had the strange feeling that somehow everyone else is moving ahead in life, while you're quietly falling behind? Not in some dramatic way. You're functioning. You're doing what you're supposed to do. But somewhere in the background, there's this quiet pressure. A sense that someone your age is doing better. Maybe they're earning more. Building something bigger. Living a life that looks more impressive. And the strange thing is, this feeling often appears even when life is going reasonably well. You're not failing. But somehow it still feels like you're losing. So where does that feeling come from? Why does modern life often feel like a race? A race nobody clearly explained. But everyone seems to be running? Welcome to Ideas Explained. A place where we explore the hidden psychological patterns that quietly shape our lives. Not quick productivity tricks, but deeper ideas that help us understand why modern life sometimes feels harder than it should. Most of us believe we're simply trying to build a good life. Meaningful work, good relationships, a sense of progress. But under the surface, something else is happening. Something subtle. Something ancient. Human beings constantly measure themselves against others. Not always consciously. Often. Silently. You notice the colleague who got promoted faster. The friend who bought a house earlier. Someone your age who already seems established. And without realizing it, your brain updates a scoreboard. Suddenly life doesn't feel like a journey anymore. It starts to feel like a comparison. You're no longer just living. You're measuring. This instinct didn't appear by accident. For most of human history, survival depended on social position. In small tribes, your status determined almost everything. Your safety. Your influence. Being respected meant protection. Being ignored meant vulnerability. So our brains evolved to track status constantly. Who is respected? Who is admired? Thousands of years later, the world has changed. But the brain hasn't. It still scans every room quietly, asking one question. Where do I stand here? The problem is that modern life multiplied the number of people we compare ourselves with. In ancient villages you compared yourself to maybe 50 people. Today, it's millions. Through screens. Through stories. Through endless examples of success. Your brain sees all of it. But it processes those images as if those people were your immediate peers. Suddenly the comparison system goes into overdrive. And the pressure quietly grows. Someone younger builds a startup. Someone your age buys a beautiful home. Someone else travels the world while working remotely. Each image sends one quiet message. You should be further ahead. But something even deeper is happening. According to ideas explored in the status game, humans are actually playing several different status games at once. And each game has different rules. The first game is success. Achievements. Career progress. Money. Recognition. In this game, winning means doing something measurable. Better than others. But success isn't the only game. There is another game called the virtue game. Here status comes from being seen as morally good, thoughtful, principled, responsible. And then there's the dominance game. This one is older. And more primitive. It's about power, influence, control. The real problem is that modern life pushes us to compete in all three games at once. Success. Virtue. Dominance. Three ladders. All rising in different directions. The moment you climb one ladder, another appears. You succeed professionally. But someone seems more admired. Or more respected. And the feeling of being behind returns. Status games have no finish line. There is always someone ahead. Someone richer. Someone more recognized. Someone more admired. Even people who appear extremely successful feel the same pressure. Because once you climb a ladder, your comparison group changes. And the race quietly begins again. Social media makes this effect far stronger. People rarely show ordinary moments. They show milestones, achievements, highlights. Your brain interprets those highlights as constant reality. It forgets that behind every image, there are ordinary days, quiet struggles, and doubts nobody posts. When life becomes constant comparison, something subtle happens. You stop evaluating life on its own terms. Instead of asking, "Is this meaningful to me?" you start asking, "How does this look compared to others?" The strange thing is, the feeling of falling behind often has nothing to do with reality. You may actually be progressing steadily, growing quietly, building something real. Sometimes the goal isn't to win the race. Sometimes the goal is simply noticing the race exists and deciding which direction actually matters to you. Many of these ideas are inspired by the book The Status Game by Will Storr. Understanding these patterns doesn't remove them overnight, but it helps us see them more clearly. And sometimes, clarity alone can change how we move through life. If you enjoy exploring ideas like this, subscribe to Ideas Explained, because sometimes the most powerful insights are the ones that simply help us understand ourselves better.